Good evening. Thank you for staying with us at NBC4 at 6. I'm Hattie Hawks.
I'm Mark Taylor. The investigation is growing tonight into a now former Mount Carmel West doctor accused of ordering what the hospital is calling excessive and potentially deadly doses of pain medication. Mount Carmel has identified 7 more people who were under the care of Dr. William Husel, which now brings the total number of deaths to 34 patients. Tonight, we have team coverage as local families try to make sense of what happened to their loved ones. NBC4's Ted Hart is learning more about when the hospital was first alerted to concerns with Dr. Husel. But we start with NBC4's Dan Perlman, who's covering the number of wrongful death lawsuits that, Dan, just continue to pile up here.
Yeah, they absolutely do. Tonight, we now know 2 new wrongful death lawsuits will be filed here. That will bring the number of lawsuits against Mount Carmel and Dr. Husel to 6. One of those which will be filed today is on behalf of James Allen's family. We told you about Allen earlier this week. He died at the hospital last year. The other is on behalf of Joanne Belisari's family. The attorneys for the family say Allen and Belisari both died within minutes of being administered large doses of fentanyl ordered by Dr. Husel. Those same lawyers say they have heard from a number of families, including one whose loved one, they say, was alert, but within 3 hours, they say, the family was told he was brain dead. That alone is causing concern.
You cannot make a determination that somebody is brain dead within 3 hours. There are protocols in place for the determination of what is required to be met to meet that definition of being brain dead or persistent vegetative state, and that requires diagnostic testing like EEGs and consultation with neurologists.
And today, the hospital CEO did in fact say that his team of leaders is looking into whether or not some of these patients could have been saved before they did in fact die. In the meantime, the number of lawsuits here continues to pile up. Local for you in Columbus, Dan Perlman, NBC4.
All right, Dan, thank you. Tonight, Mount Carmel has also revealed several more patients may have potentially received excessive doses of pain medicine, all while under the care of Dr. William Husel. NBC4's Ted Hart is live outside the hospital tonight with a closer look at that investigation that led to the doctor being fired. Ted?
Yeah, in a statement today, the hospital said that through its internal investigation, it has identified 7 additional patients who received excessive doses of pain medication as ordered by Dr. William Husel. The hospital also said that it admitted that it was slow to respond to the problem. In a statement attributed to CEO Ed Lamb, Mount Carmel is acknowledging that after receiving the first formal report in October about Dr. William Husel's care, it allowed 4 more weeks to pass before removing him. In that time, the hospital says 3 more patients died after receiving excessive doses of medication. The statement says we should have begun a more expedited process to investigate and consider immediate removal of Dr. Husel from patient care at that time.
The fact that there were 3 more deaths after that really shouldn't be of surprise if the doctor is continuing to have privileges.
Attorney David Schroyer says it appears chain of command processes and procedures were not followed or were ignored. The hospital has said that internal safeguards to prevent staff from making medical mistakes were also ignored. It has now identified a total of 34 patients who received excessive doses of fentanyl or other pain medications, 28 of those receiving potentially fatal doses. The hospital says all of the patients are dead. Schroyer says he has heard from victims' families whose cases go back as far as March 1st of 2015.
There should have been a stop immediately. Number 1 safety is the safety of the patient, not the doctor. You should be more concerned about the safety of the patient rather than the career of the doctor.
And as far as investigating this outside of the hospital itself, we know that 2 county prosecutors and 4 Columbus police homicide detectives are working on this full-time. We also know that the State Pharmacy Board, the State Medical Board, the State Nursing Board, the State Health Department, and the County Coroner's Office are all playing a role in the investigations. Local for you and live on the West Side, Ted Hart, NBC4.
All right, Ted, thank you for that update. Tonight, Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost is calling for the state medical board to immediately suspend the doctor's medical license. This, of course, following the growing number of wrongful death lawsuits. In a statement, he calls Dr. William Husel a, quote, killer with a medical license and wants the state to yank his license and let the police do their work. You can read the entire statement from the Attorney General and follow updates on this developing story and on the investigation into Mount Carmel and this doctor all on our website, NBC4i.com.